Cadet Tomlinson, your Talaxian fruit fly is eating the other candidate's homework. Please see to it. There are no Talaxian fruit flies in the white zone. Yes, countdown finished. Great success. Well, hello, good evening, and welcome everybody to this evening's Rikers Beard Live. Good evening, Carl. How are you?
Good evening, James. How are we?
Oh, well, I mean, if the sun would finally come out and the rain would stop, wouldn't it be so much better? But, oh, well, Valentine's Day out the way with success.
We actually had a tiny bit of sunshine. It teased us yesterday morning, but only for about an hour, and then it ran away again.
Yes, well, according to our audience countometer, special device that we can see, we have 7.3 million viewers who've joined us so far, which isn't bad for an episode we forgot to trail that we were going to be on. But as you will see, dear viewers, no signs so far of Richard. We believe he's at a gig, being the front man. So he may or may not dial in a bit later. But thank you for joining us. And so who have we got with us? So we've seen Gary, Fake Carl. Good evening, Fake Carl. Amanda, good evening to you. Lovely. Leah, hello. Saw part of your webcast from yesterday because it was 2 hours long. I haven't been able to find a full 2 hours to watch it. But some interesting. We may revisit some of the topics from your webcast in our webcast tonight. Yes.
Ooh, I've not seen that, so that'll be nice and fresh for me.
Oh, there you go. Good evening, Jax. Are you a new viewer? I can't remember.
I think so.
Seeing
What's
you
going on?
Welcome.
Yes.
Now, at this point, our colleague Richard would usually say, in the comments, tell us your favourite show. Tell us a little bit about why, where you are, what you do, things you love, and then we'll tell you why you're wrong about your favourite show.
Absolutely. All in good jest. Don't worry, Jax. Don't be scared off.
It is just for fun. Just for fun.
Nadim will testify how much fun we really are.
Nadim has a signed photograph of me. That's how much he loves this show. And what's more, he had it for free. I have to give my signed photographs away.
It's called exposure, James. Fear not.
Yeah, we get nicked for that. Funny story, actually. On Friday, I met a chap. He came to witness a will, and he said to me, I'm sorry to hear about your dad, because regular viewers may know I lost my father last year. And he said, he got me off a speeding ticket.
We love doing it, Nadim.
That's why we carry on. Yeah, that's why we carry on doing it. So, yes, well, there we go. That's the viewers who are with us today. So we'll talk about, amongst other things, this week's episode of Starfleet Academy. Have you seen it, Carl?
I have, yes. I've managed to consume
It's unlike when Dan would come on then and not have actually seen the show, so we couldn't actually review it.
Yeah. Here's Alan with his
hello, Alan.
customary greeting for us. Good evening, Alan.
Have you watched your DVD of John Barrowman yet, Alan, or have you used it just as a coaster?
Or to level a piece of furniture, maybe.
by the tiniest of margins. It says favorite episode so far. Well, we'll get into the meat and bones of that in due course.
Absolutely.
Has there been any news, Carl, that you can think of in the Star Trek world this week before we start talking about episodes?
I'd love to be able to say that I've kept an eye on the Star Trek world this week, but genuinely, I've just not had time. I've been that busy at work. Unfortunately, I've really not been able to keep an eye on it. I'll have a quick scan.
I'll do a quick Google search as well. Hang on. Bear with us, viewers.
Anyone in the comments seen anything that it's worth us looking up and covering? Because we're going to come across very unprepared this week, and there's a very straightforward reason for that. We are very unprepared this week. We've had extremely busy lives this week. However, we have been able to watch Starfleet Academy, so we will be discussing that shortly.
I've got to be really honest with you. It took me 3 attempts to watch Starfleet Academy because the first 2 goes I fell asleep. And that's
Really?
not entirely the fault of the episode on this occasion. It's been mainly to do with me working too hard. But
yeah, my point exactly. I mean, to be fair, I genuinely think, we'll go into this properly in a moment, but I actually think that this was one of my favourite episodes so far. Really enjoyed it.
Yes. Well, yes. Fair enough. Okay, so I don't think there are any particular Star Trek headlines coming up. We know, don't we? Star Trek 4's cancelled. That's done.
Yeah.
Was there a rumor of another effective reboot film, though? So it would forget Pine and Quinto and so forth, and another bunch of people.
Yes, there was. I've not seen anything on that for a while, though.
So that's an old rumor, nothing new.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. The most recent stuff, there's, let's see, there's a few bits on some upcoming Strange New Worlds episodes for the new season. Most of them obviously are focusing on Starfleet Academy.
Incidentally, I read earlier today the bridge of the USS, whatever the ship was in it, the wrecked ship, I forget the name of it, was actually the Strange New World set redressed.
I thought it looked familiar. Yeah, it began with an M, didn't it? I can't remember what the name of the ship was.
Japanese-sounding name.
Yeah. Either Japanese or Italian, the USS Maserati or some such. Someone in the comments, please do correct me, because I know that's
tell
not
us
right.
what the name of it was. We have seen it, honestly. There was a hint, wasn't there, in advance of this episode from the screenshots we saw, that it might be a lunar class ship. Yeah, just the silhouette did evoke a lunar class. Oh, could it be the Titan sitting out there? Because it would be 800 years old at that point in time.
One thing I did notice was, even through the silhouette, I thought it was quite nice. Did you notice the bridge dome on top of the saucer section? It was practically identical to the original Enterprise.
As in the 60s one or the TMP one?
The 60s one.
The shape on that score, I mean, there was a bit of a flashback to the 60s, wasn't there, in the comic book?
Yes, I did like that.
And I've been reading around that, going, well, what's in that comic? If this is the crew of the Miyazaki or whatever, Miyazaki.
That was it. Miyazaki. Yeah.
Why are they wearing Kirk and Spock era, classic series uniforms? And the suggestion is that Starfleet brought them back in the 31st century. It's just timeless style.
Let's see why it was. There's bound to be a reason why it was called that. Miyazaki is a Japanese animator and filmmaker. Maybe that's the comic book. part as well.
Starfleet ships tend to be named after either American, British, or Japanese ships, don't they?
Yes.
So Yamato was the most famous of the other Japanese one that we had, the sister ship to the Enterprise D.
Yes, that we saw for all of a few seconds before it exploded. Oops.
Yeah, Galaxy class ships fairly expendable in the early stages of TNG.
Yeah,
given there were only 6 of them.
I was going to say there were only 6 of them, weren't there?
And it was never found out quite how many they built in the end, because the Enterprise D technical manual, which is a favourite book of mine, said that there were 6 originally, and then 6 more built to the space frame stage for later completion. But we see far more than 6 in all the DS9 massive space battles. And I did see a YouTube video once where someone had methodically tried to calculate all the ships we had seen and identify which were the original 6 and which might have been in the second 6, and then whether there might have been more than that. And then there's the Ross class that follows the Galaxy class, which looks a lot like it, but a lot unlike it. I love the Galaxy, even though it's a weird-looking ship. I'll never get over the fact it's weird, but we just love her, don't we?
It's absolutely gorgeous, and the dimensions of it are kind of strange, like I say. But from what I understand, I think it was actually the destination that Rick Steinbach was at. I'm not sure if you got to sit in one of the interviews with him, but I seem to recall him regaling the tale of the reason that the saucer was sort of like the whole ship was kind of squashed down was because of the TV aspect ratio for when it was designed for. They couldn't get away with the nice, like, long, sleek designs back then because of the aspect ratio of TV. So
low resolution TV at that.
So it was forced to make this sort of like squashed down ship that would look good on that sort of screen size.
Well, they also said in a lot of the technical document, or the old Star Trek magazines back in the 90s, the design philosophy was to say, look, in the 24th century, art has overtaken engineering in design because the science and technology and the materials are now so good, you can just make it look however you want. And so if you want the engines to be tiny and the saucer to be huge, you can. And the fact that the physics of it looks like the dish would just fall off, it's absolutely fine. So that also explained why it looked like the Hilton in space.
We have Nadim gave us several attempts at the name of the ship. That's true. They did mention Discovery.
The Discovery was picking up escape pods, wasn't it?
Yes.
From space station.
Yes, I think Alan's hit on it here. This is the guy I just saw when I was quickly Googling the name.
Yes. Well, there you go.
Yep. And I think it's probably a reason they had the comic book there as well.
Yeah.
I think it could well be something to do with that. That'd be a nice little call.
Nice to hear that comic books are still around 1,000 years hence. Thought it was going to be a Kobayashi Maru situation. Do you think, I mean, seriously, is Starfleet Academy still going to have, 1,000 years after it was founded, the same no-win scenario? Or do you think they might have rewritten the test?
With the 3 Klingon ships from the motion picture.
Actually, that begs the question, doesn't it? Because they were the allies in the 24th century. So
they were.
Who were the baddies in the Kobayashi Maru?
True. So what are we?
I saw a Womulan.
So let's. Should we dive into the Starfleet Academy episode properly then?
Let's do it properly. So this one was called something like "Take Me Home" or "Stay Away Home" or "Come Away with Me" or "Home and Away."
Yeah, something like that.
Home and away with you each day. Yeah, Flaming Galah. Well, that'd be something, wouldn't it, if they had Alf Stewart as a tutor at Starfleet Academy?
G'day.
What do you mean you confuse the isolinear chips with the binaural gel packs? You flaming galore. Oh dear. So yes, this started off as a bit of a tedious episode, and it may explain why I fell asleep twice trying to watch it.
It did grow on me though.
It did develop into something really rather good, actually, at the end. Alan's brought his curate's egg up again.
He's loving those eggs.
What's this? More porn for Trekkies than 1979 otherwise psychics. Oh, right. Okay. Yes, we did see a little bit of Boogie Woogie. But hey, it is Beverly Hills 90210 in space. I think that's the market they are really trying to tap into. And, I'm learning to live with the fact that I don't think this show is targeted at me, but, I'll try and enjoy it nonetheless.
I mean, the standout part, I'm going to go straight for the jugular here. The standout part of that entire episode for me was, what's the bad guy's name that he cropped up in the first episode?
Let's call him Tic-Tac-Toe because he's got noughts and crosses on the side of his head.
Yep, that's true. The standout part for me was his little rant at the end.
Yes,
I thought that was absolutely outstanding. The way the actor delivered that to me was absolutely fantastic. I loved it.
Well, they talk about chewing the scenery, don't they?
Yes.
And I saw a comment somewhere online about Paul Giamatti spitting out bits of set for a week after that. Yes. No. So, what we've been treated to there is a setup on a really invested bad guy. And he's obviously got an agenda. So the whole basis of this plot was he creates a distraction that requires Starfleet to send in resources to rescue the cadets, including the USS Sargasso.
That was the one,
which is equipped with means of defeating these Furies, who are some aliens originally introduced in a 90s comic book, I believe, but never seen on screen to date.
I thought they were a great sort of like callback to the was it the Reapers from Firefly?
Oh, the Reavers. The Reavers.
Reavers, that was it, yes. I thought that's what they reminded me of.
Here's a Firefly joke for you, Carl. How do Reavers clean their spears?
I don't know, James. How do Reavers clean their spears?
They run them through the wash. Too soon?
Just in case anyone's wondering what that's about, let me just add some context.
Poor old Wash, Alan Tudyk, survives to the end of the film Serenity, which is a brilliant film, absolutely brilliant film. And it was a brilliant series, and it should have been on forever. And it's still criminal that never got.
It's funny how these things sort of like all crop up at once, isn't it? I was watching a rerun of The Big Bang Theory the other day, and it was the episode where Sheldon and Leonard first move in together, and they're doing their roommates agreement, and the Firefly comes up as a subject, and they have to set the time aside for it on the basis of, well, it's a brilliant series; it'll be on for at least the next 7 years. Oh. Have I crashed or has James crashed? Oh, I suspect it. Maybe James. Too soon, Alan. Very good, very good. Someone let me know, is James still with us or am I still with you? I'm going to guess, seeing as I'm getting new comments, it's still me. Love Firefly, the board game takes... I didn't even realise there was a board game. Wow. Oh, it's definitely James that's gone. I've just received an external message. His computer has abruptly rebooted. Very rude. Yeah, tell me about this Firefly game. Never heard of that. James did crash. Leah. But on with the episode, yeah, I thought the standout part was that dialogue at the end there. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Oh, hang on, I forgot here. Funnily enough, Gary, Babylon 5 is one of the sci-fi shows I've never really watched. I believe it would be worth my time from what I've heard from several people, including yourself. The game is great. The Firefly game, I'm going to have to look that up now. Absolutely going to have to look that up. James has gone all waxwork. Yes, I think you may be right there, alternate eye. I hate how the computer decrypts the coded message. I don't quite recall that part. I presume you're talking about the episode where Sam had a hand in the control panel reconfiguring everything. Yeah, I don't quite recall that part, Alan. You might have to refresh me on that one. The Firefly game is shiny. Alan, can you bring that to the next convention that I attend with you? Because I'd really like to see that. And I know you're famous for your board games at conventions. B5 is incredible. Excellent. I will. It's on the hit list. It is on the hit list. Oh, I've got more external messaging from James here, people. 100% there. Please keep your computer on. Oh, is that old chestnut? So what with the most recent episode then? Obviously, it takes hours. Oh, so that's a real sort of like investment. Maybe that's maybe not for a convention weekend then. So we lost a character this week in Starfleet Academy as well, didn't we? The Vulcan cadet from the War Academy. What was his name? I was quite surprised, to be honest. I didn't think that they would do that at this stage. I think there is a shorter version you can play this. There we are, Alan. Something for you to look into for us. So, what do we think? What's everyone's views on this week's episode? And like I say, my favourite part was definitely the bad guys rant at Ake at the end. Bob, wasn't it? Bob? If you're talking about the Vulcan's name there, alternate me, I don't think it was Bob. That's the intro game, 2 to 3 hours. There's an intro game to the game. Wow. Aha, James, are you back? There you are. Yes.
Well, apparently I am. That was another in a random series of unscheduled reboots that my computer likes to do in the middle of the stream, which for some period of time it was doing almost weekly and then seemed to be fine. And now it's back again.
Babby. We're trying to remember at the moment the name of the Vulcan cadet that got killed.
It's very similar to Bavy. I think it might be Baki.
Chewbacca.
The Dean might be spot on, but anyway, who cares? Because he wasn't very likable.
Hang on, he was one of the main antagonists from the War.
He wasn't likable, Carl. He was an antagonist. He's gone, and I don't care.
He wasn't likable, but he was still a fairly central character. I'm just saying, I was surprised that they killed someone off like that so quickly. But again, the writers had this habit of doing that in Discovery, didn't they? They'd kill someone off where you weren't really attached to them yet, hoping that it would have some sort of big impact.
Yeah, and they do it in decent drama as well.
Yeah. I've not built a connection to him yet.
Episode 8.
Well, I suppose we are sort of like halfway through the season now, so we should have attached ourselves to these characters, even though that means we're only 5 episodes in.
Well, they haven't had enough screen time, have they? I mean, there's quite a number of characters. I mean, yeah. When you consider we've got the Doctor, and we're very invested in the Doctor, aren't we? Because we know him, and we have known him. We've known him 600 years in his past, 800 years in his past. He's probably evolved a bit in that time, but we certainly recognise Picardo and the mannerisms and so forth. Yeah, and we're getting to know all these other characters, and we've got 2 streams of characters. Well, 3 streams actually, because we've got the cadets, we've got the instructors, then we've got the War Academy, and we only actually see 1 instructor, I think, so far from them. Sorry, not the War Academy, the War College.
War College, yes. Oh, I think we have a
How the devil are you?
Nadim likes any bit with Holly Hunter. So that would be a good percentage of this new series then.
I have heard her described as Captain Mumbles, and that's a valid point. She does make listening to her difficult.
But again, that seems to be another thing that's quite sort of like prevalent with the new series of stuff, doesn't it? You know, there was a lot of things in Discovery where it was whispers. It was whispers, and it was hard to tell.
But you know, I want to compare it to good drama.
Yes. But in all fairness, there doesn't seem to be much mumbling or whispering on Strange New Worlds, which is good.
Yeah.
That's, you know,
clear enunciation.
Yes. It is vital.
Now, actually, on that point, so I mentioned Leah's stream that she did yesterday. And in the half hour that I've seen so far, Leah, and I will try and catch up with the rest. I just haven't had a chance yet. You were talking with your co-hosts about mispronunciations or pronunciations of words. In particular, I think Kronos came up as it was pronounced in Academy as Kronos. And there was a lot of to and fro over that. And I thought you were also speaking about regional accents and dialects, how different countries have them. I mean, you're a better person than I, because as you had someone from Australia there, I said, well, yeah, there's obviously English and all the colonial dialects. But no, in all seriousness, if you consider Geoffrey Chaucer, we're all familiar, I'm sure, with the work of Geoffrey Chaucer and the Canterbury Tales. Canterbury's just down the road from here, about 20 miles in that direction. That's written in Middle English, which is only about 600 years ago. And the sounds of words and the way in which English was spoken has changed colossally in that period of time. It was only like, it sounded more like Swedish. You
sound like the Muppet, the Swedish chef.
Yes.
You put the chicken in the basket.
2 points. To add to your debate, I thought the point that might have been made was that the way in which standard pronunciations are carried forward does change from time to time and over centuries, I'm sure. So it being called Kronos may just be now the way that the Klingons like it, just like Turks and Istanbul.
I've got to counter that because I think the first time we hear it called Kronos was in Discovery, which is technically pre-TOS.
Well, which bit of Discovery?
Sorry?
Which bit of Discovery? Which episode? Half of it is
season 1.
Century, isn't it?
No, I think it was season 1. I think it was when they introduced the Klingons with no hair and all of that. And I'm sure that's
ridiculous Klingons. I think we can just disregard that as nonsense.
I'm not entirely sure you can. But yeah, pretty sure that's where it first came from. So if that's the case, they started of Kronos, went to Kronos, and now they've gone back to Kronos. So like some sort of wiper blade. It's just swinging back and forth.
Yes. And it doesn't even exist anymore anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
No, because they needed to find a new planet that was similar to it last week, which they managed.
So yes, where we've been left is that the whole plot had been conceived by Paul Giamatti's character. Let's call him Colin.
Nusferaka. They gave us the name Nusferaka.
Nusferaka. Like
no, Nusferaka. He's not a vampire, James.
Marvelous.
I want to drink you. No. Oh, dear.
The one that knocked his tail told in alla the root and nasa the young ni old. Yeah, that's Middle English. There we are.
Yeah.
So Yes, I mean that's my point.
Mm.
Well, I tried, Leah, but I will catch up with the rest of it later. I didn't manage to see it live, I'm afraid. What was I doing yesterday? Oh, I know. I was trying to tidy the house up, and the children have ruined it already. There we go.
Kids have a habit of doing that, don't they?
Yes, I was hoping to get on with one of my many building projects that I've got on. In fact, I've got too many building projects underway right now. I'm going to have to shelve something, I think.
Oh dear. No, I thought they were going to go on a complete killing spree at one point in the episode because Ciri's acclamation mill. I remembered it this week. Sam, she got shot, didn't she, and started like bzz, bzz, like phasing, whatever.
I'm curious how that works because if she's a hologram, I mean, how is she constituted? So, for example, we know that the holographic Doctor was projected by Voyager's holo emitters and later by his mobile emitter.
Mobile emitter, yes.
Rimmer in Red Dwarf, which goes back sort of 20 years before Voyager had the idea of a holographic character. Rimmer had a light B, which was a sort of miniature projector that buzzed around inside him and projected him outward. But we don't really know how Sam works. I mean, we haven't been told that she's tied to any kind of projector or that she has a projector within her that runs her. So,
And we have really had her sort of like character-centric episode now, haven't we? So you would have hoped to have found out there, but maybe season 2.
She's glitching. I mean, can you just turn her off and on again, like like my PC?
So the one that has a mind of its own and just does whatever it wants when it wants.
See, the sad thing is, Carl, I turn it on, a good hour ahead of us going online just to make sure that it deals with any updates.
Give it a chance.
And it just decides that halfway through the stream when I'm doing something, no, without any notice at all. Right, I'm going to shut down.
Oh, dear. That's a fair point, isn't it? I presume you're talking about Leah's live stream there, Alan?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought they were going to go on a bit of a killing spree at one point when the nasty guys got through the force field, and I
liked it when the force field came up and chopped one of their arms off. That was cool.
Yes, that was good fun, wasn't it? The soon-to-be deceased Vulcan ran over and stole the phaser off its hand.
So anyway, where the episode left us is that it turns out Paul Giamatti, Noose Bracker, Nosferatu, whatever he's called. I want to drink your blood. he had staged the entire thing to distract Starfleet, and in particular to get them to send the USS Sargasso, which is another of these ridiculous-looking ships that's not connected to its own engines.
It was the modernised version of the Intrepid class.
Yeah, it is an Intrepid class, isn't it?
Yes,
they've
they specifically stated that. Yes.
So it's like the equivalent of
J.
It was drawn away from Space Station J-19, which is a top secret weapons research platform, which was promptly attacked as soon as its defending starship was out of the way, and Nosferatu has stolen something we don't know what from it.
Inevitably, we will find out in the season finale.
Or this could be leading up for a multi-arc, multi-series arc answer as to what he's stolen and why.
My guess is we'll find out in the season finale, which will then be a two-parter leading into the start of season 2. Yes, and it will be something that's no doubt cataclysmic for the universe.
Oh, it won't be a Genesis torpedo. It'll be like a Leviticus torpedo.
Yeah. And everyone will be like, what on earth was Starfleet doing developing this in the first place?
Yes. Now, the team's right here. What we've been lined up with is two incredibly wary, very wise, very experienced, very clever adversaries who will no doubt dance around one another in some corkscrew of death. But hey, that's good drama. That's fine. Absolutely. I can live with that.
You know what? And I'm hoping that pays off. You know, because there's so many times in the recent series of things to do with Trek where they've set something up and you think, oh, this is going to be great, and then it just doesn't pay off.
Yeah. Richard and I were talking about books earlier because as regular viewers may know, Richard has written a book. And it's not just the Rikers Beard Annual that you see behind me, which is still available, that you can purchase. And we plan to put another one out probably this year. It's an actual novel. And look, there he is. It's an actual novel. I've proofread it. I found it great fun to read. And I've now set off on writing my own sequel. Well, it's not so much a sequel. It's in the series of same novels.
The series of
connected events. Gun. Do you know the phrase Chekhov's gun, Carl?
I've heard of it, but I can't claim to know the meaning.
It's a sort of thing within drama, a bit like, you know, a MacGuffin is a thing that's just there to promote a plot. Chekhov's gun says that if you produce a gun in a drama, in a book or a television series or something, you have to use it in some way. You can't just produce it and then never refer to it again.
Yes.
So with this huge setup that we now have in Academy, that they've.
I was about to say there's a real sense of irony to that being called Chekhov's gun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't move. I will have to stun you.
Yes. No, there was that. That was ringing in my brain, but I was also thinking there's several times where Discovery has completely ignored that rule then.
Or, for example, where they left the Discovery in a nebula for 1,000 years on its own.
Yes.
Or that there was going to be some sort of meaning to the plot.
Yep. And for so long, people were doing episodes. You know what? In fact, when I was doing YouTube review episodes for that short space of time during lockdowns when I had nothing else to do because I had no pub to run. And I remember doing a Calypso based review episode trying to figure it all out, and there was no payoff in the end.
Did they vaguely mention it at the very end of the last episode?
That they did, but it was. I think they did that because they had to.
That was just to close the loop. It didn't explain it.
It's like, thanks. It was rubbish. Nice one.
I suspect that's Chekhov's gun in Russian.
I would think so.
What is Sir Richard's book about? Well, there's only one way you can find out what Sir Richard's book is about, and that's to buy a copy from him when he finishes, which
upon release.
But I'll give you the title, and from the title you might be able to derive what happens. It is called MurderCon. Whereas mine has a much more convoluted title.
What's the title? I think you mentioned it last week. What's the title of yours?
The working title of my book is "We regret to inform you that reality is now canon." And I'm deep into character development and thinking of a plot at the moment. Well, I started with a very broad outline of what it was and where I wanted it to go. And then what you do when you're writing books, you work backwards from that. So if you're doing a murder mystery, what you really do is you think out how the murder is done, then build the plot backwards from that, dropping subtle clues so that it is possible to actually work it out, but usually not very easily, because otherwise the drama is spoiled. If everybody's guessed the culprit early on, where's the fun? It's not like Columbo. Columbo, bless him. Every week he'd turn up at the murder scene. He'd mention Mrs. Columbo, who was played by.
Oh, that's one of those. When you know it until someone asks you.
I guarantee you know who this is, Carl.
Yeah.
She doesn't appear on screen in Columbo, but did get a spin-off series of her own, Mrs. Columbo, in which she was played by Kate Mulgrew.
Ah! How did I? Ah!
Anyway, so yeah, Columbo turns up, doesn't he? And he's clueless until about 10 minutes into the episode, which is when the commercial break is. And what Columbo does is he goes back and watches the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
And then he spends the rest of the episode toying with the guest star.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the guest star's always the murderer. We know that even without seeing the murder. And he goes, oh, perhaps you can help me with this or help me with that, knowing full well that he's got this person over a barrel.
Yeah.
And then he discloses at the end how it was all done. It's always some very
Leonard
clever...
Nimoy was a guest murderer once on Columbo, wasn't he?
Yeah, and Shatner.
Yeah.
Like Nimoy may have been more than once.
Oh, I'm not sure. I definitely remember the one.
In fact, I think Ricardo Montalban may have been a murderer as well, and Columbo beat them all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Alan's weighing in on the narrative point here. Yes, Chekhov's gun, the narrative principle emphasizing that every element in the story be necessary while irrelevant elements should be removed. Not always. I mean, there must be some elements of color and background and fun that you don't necessarily have to have in the story. But yes, I mean, broadly, I agree with you, Alan. But then when don't I?
He's very agreeable, is Alan.
Too sexy to be his wife. That's about Kate Mulgrew. Khan is no match for Columbo. Yep, it's true. Shatner was 3 times the murderer.
Wow.
I thought about it some years ago. You know, all these murderers were caught by Columbo in the 70s and 80s. So presumably, even with the American justice system, they're all out by now.
I was going to say they're back on the loose, aren't they? So maybe
all
they could have
free to kill again.
Yeah, I was going to say we could have a new series in the works, Son of Columbo.
Where Kate Mulgrew turns up from time to time as Grandma Mulgrew.
I was going to say, in all fairness, when you look at this, if you just pop up James Scott's comment there, he's got a point. How on earth did Columbo manage to bag that? What just... Really? Well,
something's done with his truncheon, I don't know. 1979, there you are. Wow. So what else? Have we got anything else in the comments we've overlooked? Let's have a look. No, I don't think we have. So Academy is beginning to gain a little bit of traction. I mean,
yeah,
I wasn't terribly impressed by the Deep Space Nine episode. Sorry to say, I just didn't really see the point of it.
I think it had potential, and I just think it missed the mark a bit. That one.
This one is now actually setting us up for some decent plot and a decent baddie with some universe-altering stakes, by the sounds of it.
I actually really hope, genuinely hope, that they don't wrap this villain up in one season. I think there's a lot of legs to this guy.
Yeah, well, he's a superb actor.
Yeah, I think he's got some real longevity to be in this for the long haul. I hope they don't wrap him up in one season.
They keep hinting there's a bit more backstory between him and Holly Hunter's character, don't they?
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping he ends up, like the way Ducat was for Cisco. It was a huge, series-long arc, not just a season-long arc. I hope that's what they do between these two.
Ducat, he was such a good baddie.
He was an amazing baddie. He was the best baddie. Sometimes you loved him, sometimes you hated him, but, you couldn't help but when he appeared on screen, you were like, oh, it's a Ducat episode.
But baddies, in my view, have to have, and I think this goes for the goodies as well, they have to have shades of grey to them.
Absolutely.
No one is all bad and no one is all good. And, Ducat sometimes would show signs of affection towards people and at times he appeared to actually not want to murder all the Bajorans, but other times he seemed he did. It was difficult.
He was absolutely okay with it, and it's like, what?
Yes, attention, Bajoran workers! I urge you to surrender to your Cardassian overseers.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Oh,
I still think one of the greatest character arcs was Garrick. You know, Garrick was a fantastic character.
Were you only in about, I want to say 17 episodes? So probably fewer than 10% of the overall, around about 10% of the overall series. I'm not even sure when he first appears, to be honest.
Oh, he's in it from early in season 1.
I did get the chance to meet Andrew Robinson and interview him once. It's unfortunate that it was on the floor at London Film and Comic Con, where it wasn't terribly conducive to an interview, but he was a charming, lovely man.
I met him once. I think it was one of the Birmingham destinations. I met him, got a selfie with him when I got his autograph. I really hope if he comes back to the UK for a convention, I'm there, because I've got a first edition of Stitch in Time in my cabinet.
Oh, what a book that is!
Yes.
Actually, as we're sort of heading towards we've been on for 45 minutes. You more than me, Carl, because I disappeared for a while. But, in our last quarter of an hour, let's hear from people about books that you have, Star Trek novels that you have. Which are your favourites? So that's an absolutely superb one.
And it's I'm very, very fortunate. When I say a mint condition, I mean a mint condition. Look at this beauty.
Look at the spine. Let's see the spine. Any crinkles on there? That's not been read, has it?
No.
Nope.
And yeah, I'm very, very fortunate. This was a gift, but yeah, it's a first edition. So I was hoping to get it signed a couple of years ago, but unfortunately, Andrew Robinson had to cancel the convention I took it to. Well, touch wood, any day soon. He'll be announced again.
Episodes. Wow.
37. Crikey.
Gosh.
I suppose he was very heavy in the latter couple of series, wasn't he?
Equivalent to almost 4 series of New Trek.
Well played, Nadim. Well played.
Yeah, so tell us in the comments if you are a reader of the Star Trek novels, which are your favourites. I've just downloaded one actually onto my Kindle, which I can't think of the name of it. It's set on the new Deep Space Nine, and Kira is now a Vedek. But in the same way, I've fallen asleep watching Academy for the last week. When I've tried to read it, every time I get a line into it, I just wake up with the Kindle smashing into my face again. I'm not getting enough sleep, am I? Here's the problem.
There's a telltale sign.
It is a good alarm clock. Ow!
I've watched my better half Kerry when we've been last few minutes of consciousness at the end of a day, and you see her sat there, and suddenly she dozes off whilst holding the phone, and the phone just kind of goes.
That hurts, doesn't it?
Oh dear, you fell asleep then for a moment, didn't you?
Amanda's reading the comic series The Last Starship. Tell us about that one, Amanda. Who's in it? Which cast, group, set, whatever. Not a bit with the recent Khan podcast was amazing.
Well, I keep meaning to give that a whirl. Any good, Nadim? It
was an audio book, wasn't it?
It's a podcast. It's a podcast series.
About what?
Khan. When he goes to when he's marooned on SETI Alpha 5.
But I mean, this is a podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was kind of like a mixture. So there was, it's kind of like I think it's a story-stroke narrative podcast that was released in episodes.
So it's an audio book.
Kind of.
Okay, all right. Well, fair enough. I'll look into that later.
Yeah.
What was that one? Sorry, hang on. Before Dishonor at the moment. Tell us about that one, Leah. Who's that? Which series, characters, whatever. card is great. It's an audio play. Okay.
Right. Yeah, I would imagine it's similar. I've not listened to Carl, but similar sort of thing. There's a podcast called Blockbuster. There's 2 seasons of it. The first season focuses.
I'll have a pee, please, Carl.
Pee, please, Bob. But yeah, this particular podcast, it focuses on Spielberg and Lucas for the first season, and then James Cameron for the second season. It's great. It's definitely worth looking up and listening to. You'd love it. You would absolutely love it.
Okay, all right. I should look it out.
But I imagine it to be something similar.
Yes. Okay. So we're still waiting for updates on what various books might be. The acting was great. I think Nadim's talking about the Khan podcast. So that's an audio play. We should totally do that, shouldn't we? Like in that episode of Frasier.
We can pull that off. Oh, yes. That was a great episode.
You don't have to mess about with costumes and sets and things.
We can just can I do the balloons?
We have a sound effect machine, you know.
It's not as much fun.
I wonder what the people in the royal booth were saying when we came on stage at Destination. He was doing okay till he fell off the stage. He was doing okay till he came on the stage. Now here we are. So we've got updates. Right, last Starship has Agnes Jaruti's Borg, and they brought Kirk back in to help. Oh, is this the cartoon series where we've seen Shatner wearing a young Shatner wearing a red and white sort of TNG style uniform? Not the same as TNG. It was a very similar sort of thing to it. I've seen some pictures of that. And Before Dishonor is about the Borg again, adapting and having live ships that consume rather than assimilate as they come to Earth. Janeway 7, Picard, and Spock. Now that's a heavyweight lineup, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Well, watch out for that one. What do we have here? Nadim has been reading Picard novels lately. Firewall about 7 of 9 getting into the Fenris Rangers. And then she loses her ship and demands that Picard buys her a new one.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, I mean, we briefly mentioned Destination there just a few minutes. You're still on for it, Carl?
I certainly hope so.
Okay, so we're kicking around ideas at the moment as to what we'll do. I'm so excited about the prospect of us bringing back Blankety Blank.
Oh yeah. Well, our version was Stampety Stamp, wasn't it?
But no, we do have live action Blankety Blank in development for Destination. And I saw somebody posting online earlier today saying, "Oh, is there anyone we can get in touch with about organising things?" I run this Trek singles group. I thought, oh, maybe we can bring back Blind Date.
Oh, brilliant! Well, funnily enough, we have a route to the organisers. So if you have any decent ideas,
you want us to massacre on stage for you. Will it be number 1, who's been through a trans-dimensional portal? Will it be number 7 of 9, who, well, let's face it, needs no introduction?
Or will it be number 4? Or will it be number 4?
Oh, he's frozen.
No, I didn't freeze. You did.
Oh, okay. Well, it freezes. Or will it be number 5? I'm alive. Excellent stuff. Yes, well, I think that's probably about time. We should. Oh, hang on. Me and Sam wanted to do this and call it warp speed dating. Well, you're already ahead of us then, Leah. We'll leave that with you then. About time for us to call it a night.
Yes.
So,
We've
whoever
waffled
you
on
are,
about nothing for nearly an hour. I think we've done quite well.
wherever you are, whatever you're doing, be kind to each other and don't have nightmares.
Tatty bye.